Hello guys, we are back with new video that's about naming of compounds, ionic and covalent, or you may say molecular compound. I know many of you get confused while writing the name where you have to use di, tri, tetra, or where you are supposed to write the name directly. So today we are going to remove that confusion. So without wasting any time, let's get started. Okay, so when we are going to talk about the ionic compounds, what these are, ionic compounds, as we know, these are the compounds which get formed by transfer of electrons that results the formation of ions. And we know that ions are of two types, cations and anions. And cations are those which are positively charged ions. Yes, which are positively charged ion. And what are the anions? Anions are negatively charged ions. And now the question comes to us how to write its name. For the name of the cation, we are supposed to write the name of by the name of element. So we can easily write down the name of cation by writing the name of element. But when we are going to write down the name of anion, the name of anion should ends with "ite". So we have to take care the name of anion should get end with "ite". Now let's see some examples. So when we are coming to some examples, like you can see we are having here few examples. So here we are having sodium who is behaving as a cation and chlorine who is behaving as an anion. So its name is going to be sodium chloride. Similarly, you can see you are having cation, calcium, and anion, again chlorine, so which is going to be end up by ite, so it's going to be chloride. And next we are having Mg and Cl2, so what we can write? We can write it as magnesium chloride. Similarly, we can see here sodium and chlorine, so how can we write this compound as? The name of this compound is going to be sodium fluoride. Similarly, in the next what we are having a compound of magnesium and nitrogen, so it's going to be written as magnesium nitrite. And the next compound we are having lithium with bromine, so it's going to be written as lithium bromide. Last but not least, we are having a compound of potassium and sulfur, so it's going to be written as potassium sulfide. So now you can see in this example that we have already written "ide" with all of our anions. So "ide" is written with all of anions. So this is the way we are supposed to write the name of ionic compound. Now let's see few more examples. Okay, now in this case we are going to jump in for polyatomic ions. So now what are the polyatomic ions? As we know, polyatomic ions are the group of atoms that comes with charges, whether that's going to be positive charge or negative charge. So that type of ions are known as polyatomic ions. Now in the polyatomic ions, we have to take care when we have to write "ate" or when we are supposed to write "ite". Now let's see few examples. So you may see here you are having sulfate and sulfide. What's the difference in between of them? So if you are able to see here sulfate, its name is sulfate, while the name of other ion is sulfide. So you may see here the ion that comes with it has more oxygen atoms, while the ions that comes with it has less oxygen atoms. So it means the ion which comes with more oxygen atom should be written by 8. With more oxygen atoms should be written by 8, while the ions which comes with less oxygen atoms, it should be written by 8. Now let's see few examples of that. Okay, so here we are having silver that comes with nitrate. So what we are going to write its name? Its name is written as silver nitrate. While here we are able to see calcium comes along with sulfate. So its name is written as calcium sulfate. And in this case you may see potassium is coming with phosphate. So its name is going to be written as potassium phosphate. And next we are having a compound of sodium with nitrate. So it's going to be written simply sodium nitrate. And next we are having calcium with sulfate. Again we are using sulfate here. So we can write directly calcium sulfate. Now these are the polyatomic ions that we can see in front of us, and we have already done the naming of this. Hope it makes sense for you. Now let's see, we are having few more examples. If you can see it here, we are having some examples with respect to this. Like the name of this ion is chlorate, and with less oxygen it is written as chlorite. That's fine for us. But when we are able to see about this, it comes with perchlorate and it comes with hypochlorite. Now some of the polyatomic ions are written by prefix per or prefix hypo. So now we have to check when we have to use the prefix per and prefix hypo. It's pretty simple. When any of the polyatomic ions comes with additional oxygen atom, its name gets started with by writing prefix per. While when any of the polyatomic ions comes with at least 2 less oxygen atoms as compared to the parent ion, then it should be written by writing the prefix hypo. It means its name should be written by writing the name of hypo. Now let's see. So as we have discussed, when we will use per and hypo, so we are supposed to use the prefix per and hypo when we are having one additional oxygen atom with parent ion. On that time we are supposed to write their name by writing the prefix per. But when we are having 2 less oxygen atoms as compared to parent ion, on that time we are supposed to use the prefix hypo. Now let's see few examples. So we are having ClO3 negative, that's our chlorate ion, which is going to behave as parent ion here. So if I am going to write down it as ClO4 negative, so you may see I am having here one additional oxygen. So I am going to use here prefix per. So for that, what I am going to write? I am going to write it as perchlorate ion. Now oppositely, let's say if I am having ClO negative. Now you may see in this case I am having only one oxygen while my parent ion has 3 oxygen. So what I am going to see, I can see in this case I am having 2 less oxygen as compared to the parent ion. So it should be written by writing the prefix hypo. So its name is going to be hypochlorite ion. Now let's see some example with these polyatomic ions. So in this, what we are having potassium with chlorate ion. So what its name is going to be? We will write its name in a simple way, potassium chlorate. While the next what I am having, we are having potassium with ClO2, that is chlorite ion. So what I am going to write its name? Its name is written as potassium chlorite. Next, I am having potassium with ClO4, that is perchlorate ion. So in this case, the name should be written as potassium perchlorate. Well, if you will see for this, it is ClO, whose name is hypochlorite ion. When potassium comes with hypochlorite ion, so we will write its name as potassium hypochlorite. Now let's check for the elements those are having variable oxidation state, or you can say variable charges. Like here we have written directly the name of, you can see here what we have done. We have already done the name of cations by writing it directly, but we are having some metal ions, those are having variable charges, like iron, which comes with iron 2 and iron 3, copper, which comes with copper 1 and copper 2. Now how to write their names? Let's do the discussion of that. So in the periodic table, we know group 1 always has +1 charge. So that's why we are supposed to write their name directly. Similarly, we can see in group 2, they all have +2 charge. So we are supposed to write their name directly, like magnesium, calcium, strontium, barium, whatever is in the compound, we are supposed to write it directly because they have their fixed charges. But if I am looking over these, those are lying in the middle, so you may see these elements are having different charges with them. So how to write the name with respect to these metal ions? Let's do the discussion of this. Now, as we know, iron comes with different charges like +2 or +3, and when we are supposed to write its name in a compound, so what do we write? We will write firstly the name of Fe, that is iron. Then we will write its charge in Roman number. Remember, charge should be written in Roman number. Now similarly, you can see for next, again I am having Fe with +3. So in this case for Fe I am going to write iron, while for 3, this 3 should be written in Roman number. Now how to write its name? Let's see, I am having iron chloride. Now to write its name, there are two methods. One method is pretty simple. We can check the charge on the chloride. We know it's a monoatomic anion. So what we can see one chloride should have one negative charge, while here we have used in total 2 chlorine, so it's going to be in total 2 negative. So just to neutralize this charge, the iron should have +2 charge to make it as neutral compound. So its name is going to be written iron 2 chloride. Similarly, let's say if we are having ferrous, iron comes with sulfate. Now in this case, when iron comes with sulfate, you know, in a polyatomic ions list, you may see sulfate always has 2 negative charge. So what we are going to write, if sulfate has 2 negative charge, so just to neutralize it, your iron should have +2 charge. So its name is written as iron 2 sulfate. Hope it makes sense. Now let's try a few more examples. Okay, let's see some examples. So like you can see with the first example, I am having iron and hydroxide. In this case, we can see we are having hydroxide is having only single negative charge. So when hydroxide is having one negative charge, but in total I am having 2 hydroxide. Let's make it times 2. So you are having in total 2 negative. So just to balance it, to neutralize this, your iron should have +2 charge. So its name is going to be written as iron 2 hydroxide. So similarly, for next, what we are having, for the next we are having iron with 3 hydroxide. So as we can see, we already have checked that iron has single negative charge, but we are having in total 3 hydroxides, so it will become 3 negative charge in total. So just to neutralize it, your iron should have +3 charge. So its name is going to be written as iron 3 hydroxide. Now when we are coming to next, we are having iron that comes with a polyatomic ion. sulfate, which has 2 negative charge. So as it has 2 negative charge, your iron must have 2 positive to make this neutral compound. So its name is going to be written as iron 2 sulfate. And next what we are having, now with copper we are having a monoatomic anion, that is chloride. So we know chloride has 1 negative charge. So if it has 1 negative charge, but we are having in total 2 chlorides, so it will become 2 negative in total. So just to neutralize this charge, your copper should have 2 positive charge. So its name is going to be written as copper 2 chloride. Now let's check for the next. The next is about CuCl. Again, as we have checked, copper has only 1 negative charge. Just to neutralize it, your chloride has 1 negative charge already. So just to neutralize it, your copper must have plus 1 charge. So its name is going to be written as copper 1 chloride. So this is all about the naming of ionic compound. With metals, those are having fixed charges, and metals, those are having variable charges. So hope you are getting it. Stay tuned for more videos, and if you are having any trouble, don't forget to send me an email. Please subscribe my channel for more tutorials. Thank you so much.